First thing they did when the bell rang, he grabbed a headlock on Gable with his right arm. How do you make your debut on WWE Worldwide Television and grab a headlock with the wrong f***ing arm?
Greetings, Lucha lovers. Hutch Henry's here. Thanks so much for joining us on today's video. Now, as you can see by the title, I might have a little bit of information that the general public is not aware of. I can't 100% guarantee that this is correct, but it is directly from the horse's mouth. So I was in Las Vegas for Wrestlemania week. We had a show for our company on the Thursday. On Friday, I was able to attend a AAA event, and Saturday there was many screens around town, so I caught a lot of Wrestlemania live along with other people, but I skidded out of town on Sunday. But on the Friday, was able to hang out with a lot of the AAA guys we've booked before and that I know, like Laredo Kid and Psycho Clown, Mecha Wolf, and others. And the information that I've received is kind of interesting. Basically, on the Friday, these guys are like, are there any bookings ahead? What are your shows looking like for 2025? And we're talking about possible bookings for these guys. And then by Sunday, I'm getting texts from guys saying, hey, I'm not available for bookings anymore. So what I've heard is that with the WWE purchase of AAA, WWE has offered 18 AAA guys WWE ID contracts and have fired everybody else.
Is that right? Oh my God.
The idea that WWE is offering ID contracts seems a little odd. Now, I think perhaps maybe these 18 guys, obviously this does not include Konnan. He has revealed on his podcast that he will be working with WWE, with their creative. There's a very good chance that Jeremy Borash is going to go down and spearhead a lot of the AAA stuff. Rumors that it will be turned into NXT Mexico seem to not be true. They're going to keep the AAA name, might be WWE AAA. Supposedly they're going to be changing the logo. They're going to get a new logo in there, and WWE is going to get, their hands on that. Perhaps new titles and things like that. But these 18 guys, I'm not sure if they include some of the bigger names. Like, I know for sure Vikingo has put pen to paper. Psycho Clown has put pen to paper. Sam Adonis has put pen to paper. And his brother, Corey Graves, mentioned El Rudo de los Chicas on NXT this last week, which is the moniker, the catchphrase, the name of Sam Adonis. So very interesting. The first time that I believe he's ever mentioned his brother on TV, even surreptitiously like that. Maybe one other time. But and Sam never, ever rides off the coattails of Corey Graves. He almost never mentions him, and certainly doesn't mention that he's my brother all the time. I've always respected that about Sam. Always had a ton of respect for Sam. But Laredo Kid, Sam, Vikingo, Psycho Clown, these guys have put pen to paper, and I would find it hard to believe that they're on an ID program. I would think that they've signed to an NXT contract of some sort. So perhaps these 18 guys that are on ID are some of the younger guys. Guys that, they don't know any English. They're fresh in the business with AAA. And this would probably not include guys like Arez or Spiderfly or any of the guys working for IWRG. Like, this is only AAA signed talent. And they use a lot of independent guys. You'll see LA Park. You'll see Blue Demon Jr. on AAA shows a lot. Wagner Jr., and his kids. I think his kids, Mal de Oro and Wagner Jr., like El Hijo de Wagner Jr., I think they would be great in WWE, but they are not signed AAA guys. All of those guys do work for AAA on occasion, but they are independent talents. So, even though this information I can guarantee you is true, I don't know the exact specifics. Are these 18 guys including other talents, like more of their well-known talents, or are these separate from guys that we've already seen we've already seen Vikingo on WrestleMania and even getting slightly physical. So I find it hard to believe that he would be straight to an ID program. These are not guys you want to see on Evolve. But, Jack Cartwheel, who's very prominently on WWE Evolve, he also has worked many AAA shows. He's not a signed AAA guy, but you can see him down there all the time. The new LA Park, the new La Parka, AAA owns the rights to the character La Parka. If you know the history of La Parka and LA Park and basically the whole situation with the name. The recent LA Park, the fake LA Park, he unfortunately passed away due to some injuries, from wrestling injuries, and they have replaced him with a new LA Park, who I believe he would probably be one of these 18 guys signed. I mean, the new Octagon is really, really awesome, and he has probably been signed, I would believe. The new Mascara Dorada, perhaps. Those are the kind of guys that I would be looking at if I was WWE. But the real news here is that outside of these 18 guys and perhaps some other specific top talent, like Pagano. You got to be getting Pagano in there. I'm sure he has been offered something. But there has been a lot of firings. We're talking like 70-80% of staff and wrestlers for AAA have been fired. Now, on his podcast, Konnan has talked about Jeremy Borash most likely being involved, and he will definitely be involved. But WWE is going to keep the AAA video library, obviously. That's going to be great. A lot of these young guys do not speak English. English is going to be the big barrier for a lot of these talents. It's going to be a really big deal. A lot of these guys can't speak English at all. But as a signed professional wrestler, especially to a company like WWE, you have a lot of downtime. You spend a lot of time in the gym. I'd maybe forego, the AC/DC or whatever it is that gets you going in the gym, and maybe start putting on, some Duolingo or whatnot. Learn your English, guys, because that's going to be your real end to success in the American market. But also learning the American style. Lucha Libre is very, very different. They're going to have to shake off what they have learned and known their whole lives. I mean, Lucha Libre works from the right, American wrestling works from the left, so they're going to have to learn that right away. In fact, if you go back to Penta's very first match in the WWE, Chad Gable is, of course, professional enough and amazing enough to have gone with the flow there at the beginning. But if you take a look for about the first minute of Penta's match, he's actually working from the wrong side. He's working from the right. So, and of course, Gable goes with it, and he eventually switches it back around. But I think the excitement of being in WWE, he might have just gone with muscle memory there. But this is something these guys have done their whole lives, and they need to change it up. And the Lucha Bros are guys who've been working American style for a long time, and even they screw up just a little bit. But, I'm not here to criticize anybody in any fashion. This is probably going to be a massive, massive benefit for AAA. Now, guys like me on the indie scene, it feels like WWE's gobbling everything up, and the traditions of Lucha Libre are going to be gone. And we saw The Rock with his New Japan shirt, and everybody's talking about how they're going to be buying out New Japan, perhaps. And the big difference here is that New Japan supposedly is kind of bleeding money. They're not doing very well right now. The Japanese economy in general is not doing that well right now. But that is not the case for Triple H. Some of the haters, for AAA. Some of the haters might say, hey, they're empty, they're not doing well. And CMML, the longest running and biggest competition to AAA, like, they are doing very well these days, and they've got some great, fresh, awesome talent, and I love that product. But AAA is not exactly empty. I mean, you look at their buildings, they're usually sold out or up to 80%. They are doing very, very well. But the big difference is production. I mean, WWE spends as much on a single television show as AAA probably spends for all of their TV show for the entire year, or at least 3/4 of the year. Like, it's a massive difference. So if you're a Lucha Libre fan, if you're a guy like Rob Viper, or if you're like Lucha Blog, you should be following Lucha Blog online, by the way, on Twitter and on Instagram. But if you're one of these guys that have been passionate for a long time and have been trying to bring the Lucha Libre product to America, like Kevin Kleinrock and Mass Republic and guys like that, this can only be a good thing. There's going to be more interpreters, there's going to be more English language product, and there's going to be more production value for this product. It's going to be off the hook. And if you like your traditional Lucha Libre, it's still there. You can still go back and watch the UWA and the IWE. There's still IWRG out there right now, and there is still CMML. AAA is just going to be the now funded version of Lucha Libre. And, I felt a little weird about it at first, but I kind of like it now. I think this is going to be a great positive for everybody in general. And, the American indie style has already incorporated World of Sport British style and Japanese strong style and tons of Lucha Libre influence. It's basically a melting pot in general as it is. In fact, when a wrestler sticks to a single style, when you get like the Olympic wrestling style wrestler or the like hard lucha wrestler, like it's almost a gimmick now to stick to a particular style. So general American indie style now is a bit of a smorgasbord and a melting pot. So that's pretty cool, and I think this can only be a benefit for everybody. But the real meat and potatoes of this video is 18 stars have been offered WWE ID contracts. A majority of staff have been fired. Very few behind the scenes staff. Konnan's still there, and I would find it hard to believe that Psycho Clown, Sam Adonis, Mecha Wolf, Pagano, Vikingo, like these guys who have been doing this a long time, I find it hard to believe they're getting ID contracts. But I don't know if Pagano can work American style at all. I don't know if he can speak English at all. This is a guy, I've never booked him. I've never spoken with him. That's a prime example of someone that's doing very well, has a lot of support in the industry and from guys like Konnan and Vampiro, and has been in the main event when it has been needed of him and has come, has risen to the occasion. Does this guy speak English? Can he work another style? Does he need to go as low as the ID program? I mean, I don't know, but obviously I'm not the one making these decisions. But the bottom line is things are going to be changing fast and hard and heavy for AAA, but I think it can only be a good thing. And any of these guys left out in the cold who have been quote unquote fired, I mean, there's lots of lucha libre to be had in Mexico. I'm sure they're going to get bookings, and eventually perhaps they can even get back into WWE AAA. It's gonna be like WWECW. It's gonna be WWE AAA. Maybe soon we'll have WWE New Japan. Things are changing fast. I mean, you go back to 2017, if you had said that within 5-6 years Vince McMahon would be done, there would be another massive wrestling company out there, New Japan, which was like just reaching the pinnacle of its like heights from the AJ Styles 2012 up until 2017. That was a hot run for them. To say that, hey man, they're like way going down, and that WWE is like buying up indies and has a how many hours of programming they have in a week? Like, what is it now? You've got ID, which is an hour, I think. You've got NXT, which is another 2. You've got Raw, which is another 3. You've got SmackDown, which is another 4. I mean, they have probably 10 hours of just straight wrestling, at least 7 or 8, and then you've got your Legends and Future Greats. You've got all these other products which are really fun watches. So WWE has a ton of content out there, and if you had said back then that it would be so much and so many talents being signed and moved around, I mean, people would have probably told you were crazy. I mean, just even some of the craziness that's happened with AEW over the last few years, and guys getting fired and picked up and now coming back, and geez, Miro, like Rusev, and now just yesterday on SmackDown, Malachi, Aleister Black coming back. Like, man, wrestling has been super exciting over the last 5, 6, 7 years, and it's been pretty darn awesome. Speaking of exciting, I guess if I am going to mention Friday, wow, was that crowd ever hot for John Cena at the beginning of SmackDown. And what a SmackDown it was, too. That main event, the triple threat ladder match, tag team ladder match. Wow. And it took a little getting used to Ciampa with no beard, but you can see his piercing blue eyes and his chiseled jaw. Like, Ciampa looks pretty badass. I think I can get used to it pretty fast. Some people say he looks older. I think he might look a little younger, or at least not, like, looks the same age. I don't know. But man, one hell of a SmackDown. And was that crowd ever hot for Cena? I don't know. I haven't been pleased with the Rock not showing up at WrestleMania, and of course, there, you want to talk about La Greca and JD from NY. They've had their opinions, and I was agreeing with a lot of it. But I think this can be saved. I mean, if The Rock really is the final boss, if he's really in charge of everything, if he's really so high and mighty, like, he doesn't have to show up to Mania. He just sent Travis Scott out there to do his dirty work. Like, nah, I'm too big. He's like Dr. Dre. He's a monolith in this business. He's not too big to listen to the rumors. He's just too big to pay attention to them. He doesn't have to do nothing. He is the mountain, the immovable object. So he doesn't have to show up in Mania. He'll show up whenever the hell he wants. But I don't like the Pat McAfee interview. It all seemed like excuses and placations and talking about works and things like that. Like, dude, we all know it's a work. You don't have to throw it in our face so damn much. Supposedly they're coming out with this new show now where they're going to be doing behind the scenes stuff in the writer's room and explaining it all. But You know, I guess there's really no subterfuge involved anymore. Everybody knows it's fake. It's so fake. I mean, fake's the wrong word. It's not fake. They hit each other, right? They fall, and they get back up, and they fall, and they hurt themselves, and it's not UFC. They don't say, oh, you're hurt? Okay, you lose the match. You keep working, right? So I wouldn't say fake, because you tweak a knee, tweak your back, pull a muscle, and then work for another 10 minutes getting thrown around a ring. It's hard to say it's fake, but it's predetermined, right? Everybody knows. So why not just go all hard into it and make as much money as you can? But, geez, I don't know. At first, I was a little weirded out by the AAA thing, but those that are getting contracts are obviously looking up and towards bigger and better things. We've seen the emotion on the face of Penta and Ray Phoenix. These guys, they're now living the dream, the goal they've had their whole life, perhaps even the goal they never thought they could possibly achieve. But I think these are the kind of guys who believe, they believe, which is why they've done it. Belief, man, quantum physics is so powerful. Like seeing your vision and believing it can be true and like closing your eyes and seeing it as a reality to open your eyes and have it be the reality. I mean, that can happen, and it happens for a lot of people. And I wish it for you. And I also wish it for all the AAA talent that have been signed. And I wish best things for those who have supposedly been fired. A lot of people being fired from AAA. One last thing is that Konnan and Vampiro and, I think Psycho Clown, and Bad Medicine, Wagner. I mean, these guys use copyrighted music. They're using like AC/DC and Bon Jovi and stuff like that. So maybe Konnan, if he ever appears, will use his WCW music. Who knows? But I think one thing that will definitely change is we will stop hearing massive 80s and 90s pop tunes for all these legends coming into a AAA ring if we ever see them. The legends in a WWE ring. Can you imagine Blue Demon showing up and getting a lifetime achievement or a Hall of Fame induction or whatnot? Demon's been around a long time. But anyways, hey, if you've been watching this video, thanks so much. Maybe I'll give you my opinions on WrestleMania. But now that it's kind of sunk in, I don't know, I'm not that upset about it anymore. The less they give us, the more it seems like we're not worthy, which could technically be the storyline, right? I mean, the Hollywood elite, Travis and Rock and Cena, they really are the 1%. And if they can pull off this Illuminati thing while still making us all get emotional about how we didn't see The Rock and blah, 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 and that was the worst main event of all time, and let's all lose our freaking minds.
Everyone loses their minds.
If we can get over that, then maybe The Rock and Triple H are right. It felt arrogant at first when they were like, hey, shut up and just enjoy the ride we're taking you on. And Triple H saying the internet's not real and, we're all just marks and we don't know what we're talking about. And they laugh at our emotional reactions. But maybe they're right. Maybe they can pull it off. I mean, if you're really that powerful and that pompous, then you don't have to show up to WrestleMania. You know what I mean? I'm sitting on my couch watching it at home. I don't even have to watch it. I'll hear about it later. This is my damn company. But, he is going to have to show up at some time. This whole idea of, the final boss doesn't need to be involved anymore. I mean, hopefully that is a work and he's just lying to us. He has to be involved in some fashion. There has to be some reason other than you fans are dickheads and I'm sick of this and I'm ruining wrestling. But he is in some ways ruining wrestling, except that reaction. Dude, we're all so into it. We're all so pissed, yet we're all tuning in right away. And that was the loudest "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks" chant I've heard in ages. And I love the never seen 17, the last real champion. Those are wicked ass names. I love this storyline now just because of John Cena's new monikers. Absolutely awesome. But hey, if you liked the video, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you disagree with anything that I'm saying, please leave a comment. That's what the algorithm loves. We want to get some more subscribers here, and we want to be able to do this on a regular basis. So thanks so much, and join Demand Lucha. We'll see you next time.
How do you like it? I'm a novice at this. I make a few mistakes.
Jushin Thunder Liger.
I don't know.
Seen some rumors on the dirt sheets suggesting that Jeremy Borash might be taking over. I do believe that Jerry's title is going to be the head of creative.
That's cool. Bro,
That's
I love
fine.
Jeremy.
Which is funny.
I have zero problem. Look, when I respect
'cause
somebody, I have zero problems working underneath him.